Coach, catch the bye week here and then head into Mason this weekend, which is sits at top of the league right now. Just talk about the matchup with them and how it's prep for them.
Yeah, really proud of our guys and our effort getting a road win on Saturday up at Duquesne, and the bye week it's the bye week, so we probably a good time. Really work on our bodies, rest up and really prepare for a tough game against George Mason, who's having a great conference season.
What leagues have you seen in Justin Kears? The conference player, a double-double now, guys taking the lead.
Well, he's really improved every year. He's been at George Mason, and he's a very versatile player. Is probably the best way to talk about him. He can score at all three levels. He has a great nose for the ball. He always has. I remember him in high school. He's around the ball all the time, but his confidence of making big plays and getting big rebounds for them is quite evident.
What did Saturday show you? Because you've had teams before the road, we've had the lead, the team came back. What was about the counterpunch that you guys showed that you did?
I just thought, we haven't played against a team that just, bombarded us with threes like the first half at Duquesne, and even though, sometimes you're shell-shocked when somebody makes, I think they started off 8 for 12, but I didn't think our guys stopped playing the right way. We just kept trying to, kept doing what we're doing. We had some self-induced plays where we fouled some three-point shooters or called fouls, but we just kept playing. I really liked how the guys, led by DJ and Marcus Evans and Ivy and Santos, like those, they just kept talking to each other. We got this. We're good. And so I think when you get in a situation like that on the road, there was no panic. We didn't falter. I think like the second half at Rhode Island and the second half at Old Dominion. Late in the game at Davidson. So that was a big step that way. It just shows that we can do this. We've done it before with other teams, but to finish it, and they're a talented team, is a good win, and we learned a lot about ourselves.
And talking about the bye week, would you rather have a bye to get your bodies healthy when you're going up against an on-paper good team? Does it make a difference? Do you like to stay in a routine with 2 games? Like what are your feelings now?
No, we had a couple of weeks in December where we had the whole week off, and I thought it helped our guys body-wise, and really can get some extra preparation for the next opponent. So we'll take it. It's probably a good time. You don't make that bye week like you do sometimes out of conference, so you take advantage of it, and it's right now for us. So I think it's good timing.
George Mason is play well defensively and taking a deep in conference play with that as well. So what really stands out about how they defend?
Yeah, they could tell they've been playing together for a while. They just sort of got each other's back, and when anything breaks down, they do a really good job of helping and recovering, and then just smart defensive players helping and recovering, getting in the way, slowing the ball down. And I think they're as a team, they do a good job around the basket of not giving you easy shots. And they've had some really good defensive performances, but it's team defense.
Seems like they are an extension of their coach. Seems like since he's came to George Mason, they have taken over his identity, so to speak.
Oh, absolutely. Coach Paulson's won a lot of games before he got to George Mason, and so he knows what he's doing. He knows how he wants to play. He got his pieces, and they've matured, and you're seeing the results of it without a doubt. And they take on his identity of toughness and smart basketball and sharing the ball, and all his teams everywhere he's been like that.
You're going to have to talk this year about kind of just the vibe around the team this year. You feel like it's a good one. So what really the biggest difference in that this year maybe than last year, and we got more comfortable and things like that?
Well, number one is as a coaching staff, with your leaders, you fight for your culture every day. Everything we do, it's about moving the program forward. So that stuff doesn't happen overnight. And don't forget, when I took over, there was a lot of new faces, new bodies. Third coach in 4 years. We sort of had to go out and get, if you think about it, 9 new faces showed up. So there's always going to be change. There's always going to be, I don't want to say a step back, because we didn't talk about taking a step back, but all we talked about was it's all about the culture of the program, and that doesn't, the culture that the coach wants doesn't happen overnight, Wayne. As much as everybody around here wants it, or wherever you're at, it doesn't happen. And you know, the morale of the program was different when I took over than when I left, when I was working for Coach Smart, and the morale of the program doesn't change overnight either. But it's changed a lot since we got here, and that was about putting the team first, putting the players first, holding them accountable to a high standard on and off the court. And as much as we want to win around here, not everything is about winning. That's to me is a byproduct of what you do every day and how you act. And one thing we want to talk about is we want guys that are going to be around each other all the time and push each other forward on and off the court. And I think you're seeing that.
For a coach, how difficult is that to teach patience in a world where everybody wants instant gratification on the court?
Well, for me, it's being brutally honest. You know, the one thing that's different now than it was a few years ago or 20 years ago, whatever, is that people take coaching so differently, or hard coaching, or honesty, and you know, everybody with the way communication is, everybody's telling you how good you are. The reality is people got to tell you what you need to get better at and what you got to do differently. And sometimes that's hard for young people to take when they've heard it the other way around their whole life. And to me is, you know, I tell our guys the one thing I'm going to be with them is brutally honest. And, you know, I'm not disrespecting them, or I'll never throw them under the bus. I don't believe in that. Coaches do that. I don't believe in that. But I'm going to be brutally honest of what they need to get better at, what they need to approach better, how they need to respond to things better, because people did that for me, and that was the difference of me being successful and not being successful. So that's huge. That's huge in our program. I'm going to tell you not always what you want to hear. The guys know I love them. They know I care about them as people, and they're part of my family. They all know that. But part of being in this family, and part of caring for people is being brutally honest with them about, hey, you got to get better at shooting the ball, or you got to get better at feeding the post, or reading the defense, or guarding the ball, if you want to play more and for us and you to be better. So I think that's really important. And you know, people take that as a connotation of a negativity. It's the other way around for me. It's, man, if you can accept the honesty of a coach wanting you to get better from day one, you're only going to get better. And we've had guys do that. I think De'Riante Jenkins is probably the best example in the program. You got to do this better, you got to do this better. You're a good player now, but you could even be better. And his impact in the program has been greater and greater all the time. But I think the greatest impact he is in the program is showing the young guys that, man, I'm following the coach's plan. They're holding me accountable, and I'm getting better, and my team is winning. And that's how it should be, without a doubt.
How do you kind of approach recruiting during the season compared to during the summer? How do you prioritize, okay, they want to go here, which one game, and, you know, where you travel and that stuff?
Well, number one is you listen to your assistants. They know, I mean, they know where they need to get you. And so, you know, they told me where I needed to be yesterday, and I went. It was awesome. I'm going on the road again tonight. So listen to them and, you know, balance it, really balance it. And I talk about in recruiting, you got to be very efficient. You know, let's evaluate efficiently. Let's schedule efficiently. So you know, we're all getting on the road, seeing what we need to see, and evaluate, or be, you know, just flat out recruiting.
Weeks like this, can you try to take advantage of it as much as possible when you don't have that big week game and you have maybe a little more time?
Yeah, any off day, get on the road to recruit, unless it's a crazy week, depending what the games are and the times and all that and the travel. But try to get out as much as we can. You know, definitely this week we had a individual workouts, group workouts yesterday. So we were able to get on the road, all of us, and then today we're off today. And we're all gonna get on the road again today.
Wes mentioned something about the counterpunch last Saturday when you came back, and you mentioned maybe the past experiences at Old Dominion and Davidson kind of helped you get over that hump. When could you tell that at a certain point in the game, those experiences, albeit you weren't able to get a win, but it helps you in that game?
Well, every game is different because we go to Texas and have a grind-out game like Saturday, and we win it, and we have a grind-out in the game against Davidson, we don't, or the second half at Old Dominion. So, that's why you play the game. Everything is different. You respond every day. You respond differently to what goes on. But I did think on Saturday we just didn't have any panic, and I know it's because of a Wednesday night's game at Rhode Island. I saw that carry over where we didn't do it right in the second half, and the guys were mad from Wednesday, disappointed, upset. But what carried over is the approach we took Thursday and Friday for the Duquesne game, and that carried over. And there just wasn't a panic. There was a confidence. There was a great talk. I thought it's probably the best game of the year where our guys were talking to each other and throughout the game of having each other's back, and that's how you win on the road.
When you're kind of building that toughness, when you're going through maybe a little bit of adversity during the game, how do you manage, like, okay, maybe I should call a timeout during a run, or I'm going to let the guys play through it and learn how to stop it themselves instead of...
Yeah, Phil, look, the way we play, we don't have to stop and set up every single time. And when you base everything on calling timeouts, and this is my opinion, and some coaches agree, some don't, it doesn't matter. When you're always calling timeouts, then it allows the opponent to strategize and change their defenses or change their approach. They can't do that when the game's still going on. Plus, certain things that we do during the game, we don't have to call a timeout to do it and do it correctly. And part of it is our pace of play. Part of it is the style, how we do things and what we want and what we're looking for. I think more of the timeouts are, what occurred the last 3 or 4 times down the court for them as much as for us, but for them, do we have the right lineup out there to finish the next 2 or 3 possessions like that? So it changes. The other day we called more timeouts than we did on. We called them early on Saturday. We didn't have to call them down the stretch because the guys were on the same page. When you see some tight huddles and there's communication from the bench to the players, this probably means we don't need to get a timeout.
I don't know if I just didn't pick up on it or just didn't see enough of it, but I was curious of what you thought. Your team plays here and they're looking at the crowd and they're flexing and they're animated. Saturday seemed to be the first time on the road where Dariante's flexing his muscles, Marcus does the kiss, but there just seemed to be a little bit more aggressiveness.
Yeah, we don't need to kiss, that's for sure. But I thought there was an edge, and I don't mean it to be cocky or disrespectful. And I tell our guys that all the time. The edge is within our program that you have to have a competitive edge if you want to be a champion, and sometimes that comes out in different times of the game. I'm okay with that. That's the fun of it. I mean, it still is a game, and if you can't be emotional and have fun with it, you're dead. Then you shouldn't play. So I'm glad that. But we don't need to interact with the crowd or show up our opponent, but playing with an edge and a swag, as we like to call it around here, I'm cool with that. Isn't that one reason why we do this? But there's got to be a level of civility with it too.
With where Mason sits top of the standings right now, do the guys recognize the ramifications this game could have at the end of the year, or is it just another game?
Man, here's the thing. This is the reality. When you win the last one, the next one means more. And every time you win one, the next one means more for a lot of reasons. And that's the fun of it too. Hey, we had a great win on Saturday. Now that makes this game bigger. That's why we're here. That's the fun of it. Who wouldn't want to be a part of that? And it's a big game because it's George Mason. It's a big game because they're ahead of us right now, and we have great respect for their program.
The last 4 games, you guys have shot 120 3-point attempts in the last 3.
You had to remind me, didn't you?
The last 3 has been under 15. So is that, we talked about you guys playing more downhill. Is that kind of where you want them to be, or as far as 3-point attempts? Or?
I like the three-point attempts we take when we make them. So, I think our guys are doing a good job of balancing it, trying to take the right ones and trying to make them, but also knowing that if I didn't make my last one or my last two, get downhill and make a play around the rim or for my teammate or for the next guy or get to the foul line, which I think is important for us. So, yeah, I mean, the guys are doing a better job of that, without a doubt.